How do you protect yourself from an impending crash? Are you able to identify what type of crashes there are out there? During good times where everything is seemingly good. For example, the job market seems great, the stock market seems good. It is only until a black swan event, such as the recent COVID-19 pandemic, that has thrown everything into disarray. The key question is, do you only want to wait till then when a crash happens, then you react? Or do you want to be proactive and be prepared if such crashes happen? Hi everyone, I'm John, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple. I'm Singaporean, my wife is Malaysian. We are a financially independent couple since 2020 at the age of 40, and both of us strongly advocate financial literacy because we believe there's a huge financial gap in this world that's stopping the masses from gunning for their financial independence and early retirement. In today's video, we're going to share with you how you can bulletproof yourself and your family from an impending crash, how to differentiate and identify the different kinds of crashes, and many more. Before we continue, I appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe and join our YouTube channel so that we can create more videos like this for you. And let's go! Welcome! If you're familiar with this channel, you know that Fran and I started free masterclasses some months back. And this is one of the masterclass that we have conducted. This is actually a two-part series that we talk about how to bulletproof yourself from an impending crash. By the way, do come and join our masterclasses because we conduct different topics, talk about different things in all our masterclasses, especially on financial literacy topics, about personal finance, about breaking out the rat race, early retirement, and many more. So today's topic is really about being defensive, especially when a time where stock market at this time of recording is at an all-time high. People are in greed mode, right? More people want to enter because, you know, when the market is at high, more people who are not so savvy, not so experienced, they tend to come into the market. But this is the time for people who are seasoned to actually take precautions and prevent yourself from risking further. And this is the point where you actually want to hedge your portfolio. So today's topic is really about giving you more ideas around defensive strategies for you to support yourself for any impending crashes. First, let's talk about what are the type of crashes. Okay, one of them, of course, is the economic crisis, right? When a company or a country actually records 2 quarters of negative GDP, is in a recession. Right, is in a technical recession after 2 quarters of negative GDP. So this is one indication of an economic crisis where a country is not doing well. Another one is, of course, your financial markets, your stock markets, or your real estate market that has collapsed. For example, 2007, 2008, right, the global financial crisis in US is actually triggered by a real estate bubble, which, of course, based on over-borrowing and over-leveraging, it caused the whole real estate market to collapse, which then filtered into the stock market, which also caused the financial markets to collapse. So these are actually intricately linked. So you need to understand that in terms of the financial markets, the stock market, and also the real estate markets, right, they are all linked. And these are the times where you need to open up your eyes to make the connections to see what you need to prepare, in accordance to such kind of crashes. Right. And of course, another one, the key one, which I think during the pandemic period, right, 2022, 2023, there were a lot of countries, or rather a lot of companies doing a lot of termination and a lot of layoffs. They are doing restructuring, and the job market actually declined the last 1 year or so. So you also need to understand that in the job environment, what kind of environment is your role within that industry is performing, so that you also can have a defensive move, have a backup plan around that. So these are the different types of crashes in general. And how does an impending crash affect you? For example, when the stock market collapses. So you need to know, because it will affect your job, right? And these are the implications, like financial implications, when layoffs happen, when pay cuts happen, right? So when layoffs happen, not only are people retrenched and asked to leave, the people who are remaining might be asked to take a pay cut. And they may need to do more, perform a bigger job function, because the whole company is actually in a bad shape, right? This signals that the company is in a bad shape and they need to tighten up their belts, which means all the employees need to work harder. So these are the financial implications. And don't forget, it also takes a mental and emotional toll on an individual as well, especially since the pandemic as well. Mental health issues are on the rise, and more people are getting very affected by the job environment. Even if they may not be the one retrenched or the one asked to leave, emotionally they get affected as well. And this definitely has an impact on the overall well-being of an individual. And of course, poor market conditions also means it's difficult for you to find investing opportunities, whether in the real estate market, whether in the stock market. These are an implication of a crash. Think of like the Great Depression, right? In the 1930s, after World War I, before World War II, where America was in a very bad shape. Job market was really terrible. The stock market was bad. So that was kind of a very depressing period. That's why it was called the Great Depression. So a crash can cause and trigger this kind of effect. So understand that so that you will prepare yourself for such scenarios. Okay, like real estate and stock market, as I mentioned. Now, so what you want to do, right? You want to get started and prepare yourself before the crash happens. So you can't be reactive. If you're reactive, you are kind of too late. The crash has happened and you're kind of, scrambling to move. You're just doing what everybody else is doing. And then you're competing with them. For example, looking for another job. So it's important for you to be proactive. How do you stay proactive in the job market? That means you need to update your resume. You need to update your LinkedIn regularly. Make sure that you are always on the, on the market, where you stay attractive, you stay connected, you are able to reach out to headhunters fast, get your headhunters contacts. So these are such examples as being proactive. Proactive also means if you are investing in stocks or investing in real estate, you want to be up to date with the market rather than wait for something to happen because you are out of the loop. You want to stay in the loop so that you know that certain things might happen. Usually there will be some rumors, usually there'll be some kind of chatter, whether it's on the news and all that, that's kind of, show that certain things are brewing. So these are the things that you need to stay sharp and take note of. That's why you need to be proactive in your approach. And don't get hunted. Don't let people do things to you, right? Don't let the company take you out. Instead, stay marketable and invest in side hustle skill sets so that if in event you get laid off, you are not being hunted, but you are in a superior position where you are in a position where you can, not be reliant on that one single job, right? Or a single source of income. So that's what it means to be a hunter. So be aggressive in this approach, right? And of course, stock up on bullets, meaning build up your contingency funds when you know that times may be coming, difficult times may be coming. You want to load up more on your contingency funds and make sure you have more liquidity to tide you through. So it's not just about you, it's also impacting your family, right? So you need to understand the situation first from a broad level, right? How the crashes can impact you, which I've just shared in the earlier slides. And then you need to keep yourself up abreast with the economy and financial markets, starting with broad base. Always start with a top-down approach. Get the macro view about, how are the economies of the world doing? How is the stock market doing? What kind of conditions are we in? If we're in a pandemic level where the economy is stressed, certain industries cannot function, like hospitality, travel cannot function. You need to understand the dynamics, right? So on a broad-based level, how does it happen? Before zooming into your micro level, your industry, how does it impact your job? Right? And of course, make sure you adopt a continuous learning attitude. And getting updates is not just about reading the news. It's also continuous learning in terms of building up your knowledge, learning books, reading articles, and also getting on videos, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, it can be any kind of social media. There's great content there as well as invest in coaching, invest in mentoring, so that people can help you accelerate your learning. Your learning curve is more gradual, right? It's not so steep, especially when you start something new. When you have a mentor and a coach, they will be able to help you accelerate your learning process. Think of it just like a gym instructor, right? If a gym instructor come in at the beginning where you are very new to the gym, it will certainly help you a lot because you learn how to use the different machines, you learn how to work out the different muscle groups, and your gym instructor can point out to you, the different mistakes. They can be a reflection to you on, especially all the blind spots you cannot see. And then because you have built up that knowledge, that experience together with your gym instructor, it gets easier for you. That's what I mean by, the learning curve is not so steep for you, especially if you invest in mentors and coaches. Now, this is the part where I want to, really highlight or bring out. This is not something new. Don't leave your 9 to 5. Start your 5 to 9. What does it mean? It actually means don't leave your 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job hastily. When we say you want to gun for financial independence, it doesn't mean, tomorrow I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go into gunning for financial independence full time. It doesn't work like that. In fact, your job is a very important anchor point for you. So don't leave your 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job hastily. In fact, use it as an anchor point because it gives you certain stability in terms of a recurring income, and then start your 5 to 9. What does 5 to 9 mean? It means your personal time outside of work, which is your entitled personal time. Make good use of it, right? Instead of going out to party, going out to, just having drinks and all that, which of course you can go, right, to release your stress, and have your me time and all that. But you can still use your 5 to 9 productively. You can commit like 1 hour a night, or you can commit 5 hours a week to building something new. And this is something that I feel that a lot of full-time employees are very wasteful because they work so hard, right, in their job. They tell themselves because they worked hard, the rest of the time is there, they just want to relax, they want to go on holidays and all that. And that is the trap, right? That is the trap that keeps you in the rat race. And many people, they inflate their lifestyle, right? Whether deliberately or not, unintentionally. For example, if they buy a house, right, or they buy a car, right, whether they need it or not, right, it becomes a stacked on expense, isn't it? So when they have stacked on expenses, actually their lifestyle has inflated, right? So when that happens, you know that it will then trap you in a cycle because you need your job to pay the bills, right? So understand this principle. In order for you to break out the rat race, you want to do something like picking out new skills outside of your job function, such that you can use it to turbocharge your income, right? So your side hustles, your investing skills. So I'm going to give you some ideas, right? These are just general ideas. Some of them, Fran and I have done it before, but these are many, many ideas, which I would say, well, you shouldn't have many excuses around not starting, okay? That's all I can say. So building income, side hustles. What kind of side hustles can you do? You can certainly do something like business consultancy. Like, for example, myself, I've done it before because I was in business development and I used to do business plans for C-suite people. So I understand the process of business development. So I have actually consulted some small companies to support them on building the company up and of course charge them for it. So this is a side hustle that I did prior to getting early retired in 2020. And tuition is one as well. If you're somebody who's academically strong, then by all means, go and relearn, or rather get in tune with what's in the market, right? For example, you are somebody in math and you can, get in tune with the syllabus and attach yourself with some tuition agencies. This is something you can do. In fact, nowadays it's online, right? So you don't even need to leave your home. Digital marketing is something very big. If you are somebody who's in content creation, right, social media marketing is something that actually can come pretty natural to you. You can actually do this for somebody else, especially if you're somebody who has a following, right? For example, you know the process, then you can help somebody who is new, who's interested in building up the social media presence and help them digital marketing. Content creator, right? I just mentioned. So you can also be a videographer, you can be a video editor, you can be an online educator, right? Like for us, we actually are online educators as well because we sell courses, right? We do masterclasses. So we're actually in the space of online education, network marketing, direct selling. These are very old age kind of, timeless kind of side hustles that you can do. Copywriting is a skill set that if you're really good at it, you can charge a lot every hour. I'll talk about it in the next slide. Or even content licensing, like music, right? Or you can write ebooks, right? So all this that are license-based, you can actually make money out of it as well. So use your creativity, harness your passion to build your side hustles, especially one that can take you through in the long term, right? And it's important to know that your side hustles especially, right? Because essentially you're still trading time for money. What you need to do is you want to increase your value over time. So you want to climb the value chain. So you want to focus on delivering value, meaning at the end of the day, whatever side hustle, whatever skill you're building, you want to make sure that deliver value to your clients, right? Which means your clients, your audience need to have the impact. They need to have the improvement. That's when you successfully deliver value. Don't focus on the money. The money will come as a byproduct of you successfully delivering your value. Remember that. And as you are able to continuously deliver your value, because it also comes by experience, right? The more client you engage, the more you understand, your market, your target segment, your target audience, then you're able to deliver more value over time. And when you're able to deliver more value, your dollar per hour will increase, right? Just like coaching, right? Coaching, maybe you start with $100 an hour. As you get better, you have more clients, you have more testimonies, you can maybe charge $200 an hour for the same hour, right? So your dollar per hour will increase over time, which means you have successfully climbed up the value chain. All right. Now let's talk about building your investing and trading skill sets. And these are more examples for you, right? Index funds, ETFs. These are one of the most basic and simple ones. If you're somebody totally new to investing, this is something that I suggest because they actually can deliver a consistent return for you and they are based on a broad-based, diversified portfolio of companies. Bonds. If you're somebody who's into bonds, you want safety, bonds is a safety net. You can go into different types of bonds, right? Whether it's treasury bonds, whether it's T-bills. In Singapore, we have the SSB, right? Different kinds of bonds. The returns are generally lower, but it's coupon-based, so it's actually a fixed income that can deliver you or give you a certain return per year, right? Stocks, of course, that's something that's you can definitely pick up. You can start with the blue chip companies, the bigger companies, cost is safer, right? You can go for dividend stocks, you can go for high growth stocks, depending on how aggressive you are. You can go for REITs, right? Which are real estate trusts, right? So basically it's a real estate that is managed by a trust, and then you are getting dividends, or they call it distribution per unit of it, right? Which is in the form of dividends. All precious metals, there's an asset class that I'm very familiar with. I have been in it for years now, and I love especially gold and silver. So precious metals are great for hedging as well. If you understand how to hedge and build a balanced portfolio, you will want to have precious metal inside. Real estate, right, which is something that well, I'm very big on as well. So Fran and I have more than 10 properties in 3 countries. So real estate is really one of our key anchor points. So for anybody who has first started having your own home, the next one you want to build is your second property, right? It can be any country, but I suggest getting in your same country first because that's a market that you are a bit more familiar with, having bought your first property. Stocks, using options. Well, if you understand options and you are somebody that's not really new to stocks, options is a turbocharge to your stocks. For example, if you sell cash secured puts, right, or you do covered calls, you know that there are certain strategies that can help you to generate returns over time. Of course, it does have its inherent risk, but if you know how to manage it, it's a fantastic way for you to generate a high percentage return per year kind of passive income. All right, and options trading, right? For myself, I'm an options trader. I'm also a forex trader, although not so active now because trading actually is more time consuming, right? Whether you're forex or options trader, it is more time consuming. Understand that you need to be at the trading desk longer than if you go into a longer term kind of investment. So understand the difference between being a trader and an investor. But if you're willing to invest in these skills, it does have a higher risk, but it accelerates your learning. At the same time, it gives you greater returns. Now, about the investing income, right? The key thing is, especially if you're new, you want to start small. You want to allow yourself the runway to learn. Don't jump into, oh, I want to invest in this, I want to invest in that, I want to invest in that. So it becomes you are jack of all trades, right? And master of none. So you want to start small and master one by one and give yourself the runway to learn. That's why your 9 to 5 job is still important. It is the anchor point for you to have your consistent income, and then you can use your 5 to 9 to build all these side hustles and give yourself that runway to learn without feeling the pressure. So focus on one skill at a time, get good at one, make the money there, then you jump, or rather you can add on a different investing portfolio or rather investing skill set. Let's say you start real estate, then you can actually start going to stocks, or you can start ETFs first. These are great combinations. One paper asset and one real estate asset. And your skill level, all right, your skill level, this is what you want to focus on. Don't focus on the money. Don't focus on, oh, I want to increase my capital. I want to make money. I want to make money, right? If you keep thinking about the money, right, chances are the money will not come. What you want to invest is in your skill set, in building your skill to the next level. For example, if you're a forex trader, if you're able to return 1% per month, then you want to continue, the momentum and build it to 2% a month. And then you want to build it to 3% a month, right? So you want to go in that approach, focus on the skill rather than, okay, I must have trading capital of 200,000. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to earn 200 a month. So if you adopt that mindset, right, you might fail because you may actually end up risking a bigger amount, which happened to me in 2016, by the way. You risk a bigger amount thinking that amount is something that you can swallow, but actually you don't have the skill level to handle that amount of portfolio. So understand that your skill level will determine your return, and you don't have to have a big capital to do that. So we have a YouTube video that we created some time back. It says how we build our 8 sources of income. So this was the lead up towards us being financially free and early retired by 2020. Of course, our income skills have changed then because we have gotten more passive, right? When we build up towards early retirement, we were definitely more aggressive. So check out the video. We'll give you some ideas on the different side hustles and investments that we went into. Even for now, if some of you follow our channel, you know that we actually also started building new sources of income, right? Like for example, the YouTube channel. So we have never stopped. We continue to learn because we advocate what we teach. So continue the journey, right? Even if you are financially independent. That's what we advocate. So find a support system as well, right? A support system is so important, especially in a time and age where, people, when I was in corporate, I find that a lot of my colleagues, when you get together, the usual topics is about gossiping about colleagues, gossiping about the boss, or when you're friends, sometimes you gossip about other people, right? Which, of course, part of it is fun and all that. But if your conversations all revolve around there, or, things that don't really add a lot of value to you, then you want to find people of influence. You want to find a circle of people that actually you can come together and build, right, harness of each other's energy, right? Like-minded friends who can then grow together. So you want to have different groups of friends that actually can help you, a support system that especially you're gunning for financial independence. And that's what I highly and strongly suggest. And one of the reasons why Fran and I actually built a community, right? It's called Breakout Community by Fran and John. You can find us on Facebook, or you can scan the QR code there. One of the reasons why we started this breakout community is so that we can offer support, right? We can offer our experience, our knowledge in the community, and it can then help you along, right? Focus for sure. We are people who are interested in financial independence, talking about early retirement. So if you post any questions to us in the group, we'll certainly reply, right? And help you along. And that's really one of the key intentions. So come join our group, right? So it's time to break free, right? Especially those of you who are gunning for financial independence and you want to break out a rat race, and I support you all the way. I hope you have gained insights and clarity around how to bulletproof yourself and your family from any impending crash, as it is the preparedness that will actually be the deciding factor whether you can get through the crash or not. Today's video is actually an extract of what we cover in detail in our masterclasses, where we deep dive into topics and we do multiple topics every single time. So do come and join us for these free masterclasses. Come sign up for free webinars by joining our mailing list. I'm John, one half of the Corporate Breakout Couple, signing off. Do hit the like button and subscribe to join our channel, and hit the notification bell so that you get first-hand information about new videos coming out. See you soon!